This video shows how I prepare my skew chisels for lathe turning. First I'm going to set the tool rest to match the existing angle on my skew. I'm going to take one light pass. And I'm going to check to make sure that it's hitting in the center of that bevel. That's going to tell me that the angle is going to stay pretty much the same. You'll notice that I swing the handle a bit as I do this. That's what's going to give me that rounding that I've mentioned that I prefer on my skew chisels. It's not too extreme, but you have to be conscious of it. The wheel itself is actually helping me keep the tool from rolling around too much on the tool rest because it is an oval-shaped skew. I just balance it against the wheel as I take that slight swinging motion. It's important to make sure that both sides of the skew are ground evenly. The length of the bevel will be the same on both sides if this is the case. Otherwise you start to get a bit off-center and then each side is going to cut a little differently, forcing you to alter your technique. There's the grind that I took with it. And now I'm going to show you how I hone it. It's real important with these heavy-handled tools to be very conscious that you have to only pick up enough so that it locks tight against the surface of the stone. You can see each stroke I make sure that it locks tight before I move on that. And then both hands go down real close to the bottom of the bevel, and the orientation of the tool in relation to the stone is real important. You see, I don't go too parallel or too perpendicular to it. My goal is to have that cutting edge to be at about 45 degrees to the axis of that stone. That's going to give me the most stable position as I push away from it. And you can see both of my fingers are pressing real tightly down against the back of that bevel. That's going to help keep this cupped up against that stone real nicely. Also, I'm exaggerating here, but there's a slight curving motion you have to do, a sweeping motion because of the oval shape of the skew, to make sure that the entire edge gets hit as you go. I like to start with the lead point and then end with the point towards the back. And you see I just flip the skew there. I also like to push away, you'll notice. Here's checking. I like to push away from myself. That helps keep that handle out of the way. If I'm pulling towards myself, that handle tends to be very cumbersome. And I always, stroke by stroke, lead away from the edge. I don't snowplow into the grit. This also helps keep me from raising up and heading into that edge and rounding it over, which is, of course, the worst thing that can happen in this situation. Here you see the final result. That little fine line edge is dead flat, but it follows the curve of the edge. That's what I'm going for.